Okay. Thanks for pointing it out. Uh, so what's happening here? So if the answer is wrong, okay, if the answer is wrong, the number between the points between minister and thief will exchange swapped. Okay. So if the answer is wrong, minister and thief point will be switched. Actually, the swap. So minister will get 0 and thief will get 8. So if you see, by default, the default setting was uh, minister should get 8 point and thief should get 0 point. But because minister given the wrong answer, so what it will do, it will swap the numbers. Now minister will get 0 and thief will get 8, and it will go on. Okay, it will go on. Then the round 2 will happen. Someone again, the random assignment will happen. So the random assignment will always happen in every round. Okay, then again someone else will be a minister, someone else will be a thief. The same question will be asked. Suppose this time he or she was right, then okay, do you want to continue? No. Now the program output will be, you will display a point table. So this is for your guide, so don't worry about it. So there is only 2 point tables will be displayed: the player name and the points they have uh, earned or get in these 2 rounds. Okay, so again, I'm not saying you are able to code it in one go, but try it. Until unless you are not going to try it, it's not going to work. Okay, so please try it. So let's quickly jump on today's session. So today I am focusing on, let me quickly open it first. So today I'm going to focus on the web scraping. Now, what is web scraping? Is this, and I'll give you one example. This code I have written when I was working with my very first company, and I'm a fan of a cricket, and in the company the problem was the cricket website was not opening. So I have wrote down this code. What this code was doing, this code was continuously connecting to the website, downloading the data, processing it, and giving me like what is the current score for a particular team. Okay, and the similar, today we are going to see it. You can also do the same thing. So the very first is web scraping, or there is a library called requests. So you can install this library by pip install requests. Okay, so this is the command. If you run it in your command, if you are using Mac or if you are using Windows, in Mac terminal, in Mac users especially, uh, you have to try this way. Okay, Mac users have to run this way. uh, Windows user can run this much, not a problem. If they run the whole command also, that is also okay. So once this, let me quickly check if the command is right or not. Just give me a sec. Yes, the command is right. Okay, so this command, by this command, your Python environment will have a library. Okay, so if I do import requests, request. Okay, so if you see like one, it's okay. So now this library is there. Now to try it out, what I have done, this is the one link, and this is called APIs. Now what API is, I'll explain later. So not later, let's explain it right now. So APIs. Okay, so API is nothing but, in simple terms, application programming interface. Okay, so what do we mean by APIs? So think this way: Recently we have seen, like, due to COVID, there are a lot of websites was there, right, to to guide us, like where the vaccine is available and all that. And the very fine I think was Vaccine Hunter, this site. uh, this one. A sec. I'm missing something. I wanted to show you like how these guys are working. GTA.cs. Okay, this one. Oh, they closed it or what? Okay. So this site, suppose I wanted to check at my location, and here let's say I'll pull it up. Toronto, filtered by city. Toronto vaccine. I am going to, suppose, Pfizer. I wanted to go for, suppose, a second dose, and it filtered it out. Now the question is, from where they have got the data, because each individual data, if you see whether the dose is available in Wellesley Community or Regent Park or Ryerson University or not, is specific with the hospitals. This site doesn't have the access on this data. So how they are working on? So what's happening here? So there, for each of these hospitals actually have their websites. We have seen, like, we have to register on a provincial site to get the doses, right? And each site have exposed their data via the API, the application programming interface. And now what's that? We'll quickly see. So what's happening? Suppose I'm a user, suppose a company, I have some data, and you are a user, you wanted to have access on that data. But the problem is, suppose if I gave you access on my data, there is a problem. The reason is, you will have a complete access on my data, you can delete my data, right? You might corrupt my data as well. So we wanted to put a security in between. So I don't want to give the data directly to you. So what usually company follow, they create APIs. APIs is, as the name says, application programming interface. So what I have done, I have written down some code, okay, which code is nothing but called API. And those API I have exposed it, means I have given you those APIs, and I have asked you, if you wanted to access a particular data, use this API, and that API will fetch the data from my system and give it to you. Okay, so when actually, when you actually Google it, when you click on any link, you are actually calling a API always on internet. Most of the things are nothing but a API. Okay, so you don't have a direct access on a particular data. You simply use one API and connect with that API. Okay, so I'll explain this more, and as we progress with the example, you will see what API and how we can use, what are the benefits of these. Okay, so for accessing APIs, there is a, as the name says, library called import request. Now, uh, for testing, for, like, as we are learning, you can come to this site. I'll share this link as well. This is any API. So this site is nothing but this site is actually a collection of all the free available APIs, where you can try it out, where you can learn. As you can see, it's near around 1400 public APIs are available. So if you see, there is a Weather Stack, there is a Spotify, Rotten Tomatoes, Books, Insta. Okay, so there are a lot of APIs available, you can explore. So we are quickly going to explore the Weather Stack. Okay, I wanted to know what is the weather in Toronto or some other places. So if I click here, me. Okay, but before that, let's quickly check this one small thing. Okay, so let's say URL equal to I'm going to put, let's say, what's the google.com. This is the URL. Okay, so I'm going to I have copied it. And the URL is this, and obviously HTTPS. Okay, this is the URL. Now I wanted to download this page on local. Okay, rather than I can do on the browser, right? You will say like, oh, it's very simple, simply save this page. Okay, I agree, but how you have to do programmatically, so that you can do via this. So we'll say response. It's actually, you can give any name, but response is like, I'm going to post a request against this website, and obviously the website will respond me something. That's why the naming convention is much easier to like have that way. So the this again, this is a library. This so the basic Python concept is used, but the libraries have their methods and all that. So for learning those methods, you have to explore that library. So this is called get URL, and I'll run it. So requests not found. Okay, now fine. So if you see that run, let me print this out. If I print this, it says response 200. Response 200 means I got the data. Response 200 is nothing but it says that it's a success. How I have to see the data? So I think it's text. Yeah, it's text. So if I type response.text, this is actually the web page is being downloaded. And this page, if I copy this, save this in a HTML file, this will open this. The page will be like this. Okay, so I have downloaded the whole page, but in more of a programmatic way. It's not like UI. But so if I have to save it, I have to copy this. Let's do that as well. So, oh, sorry. So this is the content. Okay, and you can see this the same thing by come here in any browser. If you right click on it, and if you click on view page source, if you do that, it will open the same code. Okay, so if let's compare that. So if you see, it's start from exclamation mark doc type HTML, then some item scope, something like that, then schema.org web page. Let's match if whatever our program have downloaded, it have that or not. Okay, so the program is here. So if you see HTML item scope and the schema or web page, and the same is here, right? So it have, oh sorry, I closed it. Okay. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me little, okay, then let me copy this text, whole text. If I save this text and save this text as some HTML page, it will simply display me the whole that Google page. Okay, so the response I have got it, but again I have just shared this sample with you. Really, I don't want to do that. I don't have to do anything with this Google page. I wanted to perform some activity. So if API, okay, so API opens here. Okay, so when I click on weather stack, okay, it routed me on this API documentation, API page and all, and here they will display like how you can access a particular uh, city's weather report. Okay, most of the APIs are not openly available, so they always looking for a access key, because if suppose if it is open available, anyone can hit it, means anyone can hit it, like we hit it Google, right? So API is usually okay, API usually looking for a secret key. I'll pass the secret key whatever I have created, so you can use the same. There is no problem. There is a limit of 250 hits, so you can use only 250 times. Okay, so let's do this. Let me copy that API key here. API key and this. Okay, so this is the API key. Okay, let me save it here for myself. This is the API key. So let me put like API key. API key is similar to, like, it's a kind of a password key. You are using it. Nobody else is using it. Okay, so it's a kind of a password for website. So let me copy this. I have copied, and let's say for city. Okay, I'm going to ask user to enter the city. Enter. Okay, then I'm going to do response equal to request dot get, and if you see this, so I have to format it, remember that. So string formatting is in place here. Query here, I'll say whatever the user have entered, so it's city. Okay, and then I'm going to print response dot text. Okay, so it's asking now enter the city. Let me enter Toronto. It broke. Okay, let's see what's the problem. Okay, the problem is this. Yeah. Okay, so it says that access key equal to access key. Okay, so this need to be fixed. That means city also need to be fixed. Let me run it again. API request failed. Please try again or contact support. Okay, city Toronto. Enter the city Toronto. Okay, let me see again. Ping New York. Okay, something is missing up. Okay, I'll check that. Okay, so what's happening? If you see this is the response I have got. Okay, and if I and this response, it simply says that the query I have clicked on New York, that is in USA. Okay, location New York, country is USA, region is New York, latitude for that city is 40.714, longitude is for -70, and time and blah blah blah. Lot of information is there. The possibilities, you might not need to like have all the information. You wanted to have suppose a pretty print, like it should display like what is the temperature, as simple as that, rather than doing other things. So I have already written down that piece. So what you can do, data equal to response.json. This is actually a JSON kind, and then you can print. So API response is not defined. I agree. It's response only. One sec. Okay, this is better. Okay, got it now. So this is what we have got, like queries New York, location, reason, okay, longitude and latitude we got, time zone, what time zone it is, temperature is 29, weather code is blah, uh, wind speed is 0 degree and all that. So we have gotten all the info from that site. Okay, now we can print it. We have to copy the line again. Okay, so okay, so it's simply print like current temperature in New York in 29 degrees centigrade, right? So let's try once again this. Let me comment this out. Let me try Toronto. Oh, wrong. And the Toronto, let's hit it. Okay, this time I have got Toronto, Canada. Let me run it again. It says Toronto and 21 degrees centigrade. Okay, let's try again with some other city. Let's say Delhi. I don't know whether that city is there or not. It's there. Okay, so the Delhi temperature is 27 degrees. Okay, so this is API, and with with the request library, you can call out any like API. You can process it. Just remember, whenever you try to work on an API, just check. So suppose if I come here in any API. Okay, suppose I wanted to check out for, let's say, Insta. Okay, for cross. Okay, Insta is having some problem right now, seems like. Let's go back. Let's pick Spotify. It's routing me here. Oh, it's pretty complicated then. Don't go then in that case, because you have to learn first the concept. Let me see. Actually, I'm looking for some simple web service which you can see. Okay, this is, I think, better. Okay, path header utility. No, this is also a complex piece. My apologies. So I think you guys can start with the weather stack only. Okay, so I'll share the API key for this. Okay, so you don't have to create an account. This API key will work. Understand this way. So what's happening? Let me guide you. What's happening? So this site, the weather API, this weather stack site, what they did, obviously, if I go to weatherstack.com, if I come here, let's say weatherstack.com, okay, and then I wanted to see, oh, it's an API only. Okay, so you can see the current weather, weather history, and weather forecast for as well. So if you see, if you are using Android, there is a weather app available in your Android app, and that Android app is doing nothing, but it is calling this API only. And that is why, like, whenever you refresh your Android or maybe some other phone, so whenever you refresh it, it always like roll there, and then it will update if the temperature is different. So what it is doing, your mobile is trying to connect with the API, download the latest information, whatever the temperature or something else. Suppose based on the temperature, it will put that whether it's a cloud sign or sun sign, it will put that, and it will display the temperature to you, right? The behind the scene actually happening the same thing. What's it's doing, your Android phone, whatever the app is there, that is already have a API key. Okay, and it's nothing but you can say it's a kind of a API password, API access password in simple terms. Okay, so I'm passing this API key to this manner. So let me give this way. Like obviously your access key as this says, and then whatever the city. So what I have done here, I have formatted it. Okay, so this is a string formation. So let me do this thing. Let me say here URL equal to this, and here I can call URL, and here I'll simply print this URL. If I run it, and let's say Toronto, then the wrong. Okay, so the URL is now designed this way. You can see the API, weather stack, current access key, and query is this. Okay, so that is also wrong. So let me put it this way and then run it again. Okay, this link. If I click on this link, this will open a new page. Okay, and it says that your access is restricted because this access is, so this link is not for a GUI access, means you cannot access this link on a browser, but you can get the response in the response field. And if I click here and hit it again, so it will display all the information related to that city. Okay, so I can choose any city. Let's say I don't know whether I'm writing it correctly or not. Yeah, correct. So it's Ottawa, Canada, and I have got all the information. So this in the response.json, I have got the info. So I have assigned into response.json into a variable. And can anybody tell me what kind of data type is it? Anybody? By seeing this data type. Yeah, this is a dictionary. Okay, so once it's a dictionary, you know that, then fetching out, let's say, temperature is much easier, and that's what I have done. So what I have done here, let me come here. So I have assigned the response.json to API response. So now API responses have the whole dictionary, and if you see this, I'm first picking the location. Okay, so let's see where is the location. So location is here. Under location, there is another dictionary. Okay, if you see closely, there is a location. The value of location is another dictionary till here. So that's why I have put name. The another dictionary is key. So that's the benefit of a nested dictionary. Nested dictionary always works this way. So first you fetch the location. The location outcome is this. So let me show you that as well. So API response here. Okay, so if I do this location, so if you see, this is also a dictionary. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, suppose I wanted to know what is the name of, so I'll say name. So now it's Delhi. Okay, if I copy again, suppose I wanted to name what country this belongs to, so that's India. Okay, so you can like nested always, like you can put a first key, then the another key, and the another key, and the another key. So dictionary works this way. Okay, that's the pretty fantastic work dictionary to Asia Kolkata. Okay, so so what I have done here, API response, first fetch the location and then the name, so that's okay. Then the current and then temperature. So if I see here, uh, where is the temperature, let's say, so temperature is here. Temperature comes under another dictionary called current, and that is why so if I simply copy this and hit enter, so it's display another dictionary. Okay, and if I wanted to, let's say, suppose I wanted to know only the temperature, so I'll put another key here. It will display the temperature. If I wanted to know, suppose wind speed, I'll say wind speed. It will display me the wind speed. Okay, so you can parse the data, and then you can display a quick like a line like, okay, current temperature is Delhi. Okay, so suppose in simple terms, what you can do right now, I am running in a Jupyter notebook. What you can do, we can simply, let's say, we can put everything together. How we have to put, let's say, so copy this, uh, put it into one line. I'm putting it into one line now because we wanted to run it that way. Okay. URL I was printing for to you to know. Okay, right. So let's say, okay, suppose my location is, I know that my location is always going to be Toronto. Okay, and I'm going to copy one more thing here. So not current temperature, time zone is, let's see, where is the time zone? Time zone comes under here, location and time ID. Okay, let me copy that. And let me remove this. Okay, if I run percentage, okay. Okay, so this is a quick small program I have written down, a few lines. If you see city Toronto URL, this, and if I wanted to put into very small piece, what I can do, I can directly hard code this here, city is here. So these two will also be gone in that case. URL I directly put it into here. So I can, like, I can simplify it. And whenever I wanted to know, let's say, what is the temperature in Toronto, I have to run this line, and this will give me what is the temperature is in Toronto. Okay, let me put it like, suppose uh suppose I wanted to say in Sri Lanka. I don't know whether it will work. Oh yeah, it's working. So current temperature is this is 26 degree. Time zone is Asia Colombo, right? So you simply change the city, and it will work. Let me put like what else we can put here. Any city. Let me put Bangalore. This location is creating a problem. Okay, so this location might not be available. So let's see what happens. So let me print it out, the response here. What site have responded with? Let's see. Site says false error, request failed, your API request failed, please try again. Okay, we or contact support. So it might be the location. Let me try Mumbai. Yeah, Mumbai works.
I
So
think for Bangalore, the spelling there should be an A more. Bangalore.
oh, so BANGALORE. Yes, you are right. Okay, so the city name, so you keep like changing the city name, and it will simply pick out the temperature from this site, whether whether stack site, and display the result to you. Okay, so this is and this is the way, like, you can write down any program to, like, have access on a specific thing on the internet, like on any website. This is a API way. Okay, so here what I'm doing, I'm calling API and application programming interface. Okay, and then displaying the result. Now someone will say, you can download the web page as well. Yes, I can, but understand one problem. Okay, if I'm going to download a page, okay, page is nothing but a HTML source. I don't know, it might be the case like you guys don't know HTML, what HTML is. This is a web page type, you can say, in simple terms. Okay, uh, okay, this starts with slash HTML, sorry, is HTML tag, yeah, HTML, and then it will end with slash HTML, something like this. Okay, most of the cases this, but yeah, nowadays as the internet is growing, the page is complex. So if we download the page, it will download it as a HTML page. The problem with the HTML page is, suppose, okay, let me come here. So this is a HTML page. Okay, if I right click and click on view page source, this is a HTML page. If you see, doc type is HTML. Okay, the whole thing. But the problem is I can get the same info from here as well. Like suppose if I wanted to, that's the beauty. So let me quickly show you one thing. Suppose where I was. Okay, suppose this Wellesley, I wanted to just search for this info is there or not here. Okay, so let me search. It's not there. The reason, I think it's calling a JavaScript. It's calling a functions. Okay, so we'll go to Google. Google is pretty simple actually. It's not so much of complicated. So view page source, and let's search this line. It's there in this page or not, and it's there. Google offered it. The same thing. Google offered it. Okay, so the HTML page have all the information, but the problem with the HTML page, suppose Google have decided to rename this Google offered into, let's say, offered in. Okay, or let's say suppose given to you, anything, they rename this line, then your program will fail, because you are looking for a specific string when you are searching it out, and that's where the API comes. Because see, how API works, API working criteria is pretty same. I am the data owner. Okay, I own the data. I have created the API. So suppose if I'm going to change anything in my data, it's my responsibility to modify the API. Okay, and you are a user of that API. So suppose down the line, if weather team, suppose, okay, they have decided, okay, we are not going to display temperature in Celsius, we will display the temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, so it's their responsibility to do that conversion. We can do conversion at our end, suppose if they are giving in Celsius only. But if suppose they decided to move on from Celsius to Fahrenheit, they have to modify this API as well to have the info in sync, right? So to use that's why API is used a lot everywhere, because when you use the API, you don't have to worry about what will happen if the data owner, actually the API owner, will change something. It's their responsibility to guide me with the modification. So in simple terms, let me rephrase myself. Let's say, suppose you have an Excel sheet, and that Excel sheet holds a student name, their marks, maybe their age, maybe their gender. These 4 columns they manage. Okay, and the order is same, like name, marks, age, and gender. So as a user, I don't know means how you are storing your data as such. Okay, uh, so I simply query, okay, give me the age. You are a data owner, so what you have done, you have created a kind of API in between, kind of, which will between user and the data, and there is in between there is a API. So user will call API, okay, give me the age for suppose Adam. API will connect to that Excel sheet. It will see whether Adam student is there. Okay, if it's there, then it will fetch the age of that student and give it to me. And that's what is happening here. You have seen I have given a wrong city name here. Okay, and it throws me like there is nothing like that. Okay, when I corrected that city name, it returned me the result. Okay, so it's doing so API is going to the weather stat database. It is checking whether Bangalore city exists or not. If it exists, what is the temperature today, right now, in that city? And it's returning with that result. Now, let's suppose tomorrow you have shuffled the column. Okay, so that's the API scenario. Now I'm coming to the second scenario. Suppose you have given the access on your Excel sheet. Your Excel sheet have first column as a first name, sorry, the student name. Second is marks. Third is age. fourth is suppose DOB or gender, let's say gender. So when I'm going to code it, what I'm going to do, suppose I have got the student name Adam. So I'm going to check that Adam name in the very first column. Once if I found the Adam there, then I'll check the age in very last column. Let's say, suppose if age is last column, so I'll check the age in very last column. But tomorrow, suppose you have decided, I don't want age at very last column. I wanted to shift it to very second column, let's say. So now name is first column, age is second column, and the remaining columns. If my program will run now, it will kind of break, you say, or maybe it will give me the wrong error, because my program was looking into fourth column. Okay, my program was looking into fourth column for an age, but now fourth column, let's say, have a gender. So it will say like Adam, the temperature, suppose the age is male. That's wrong, obviously, right? That's where the API come into the picture. Why API comes into the picture? Because API, I'll keep calling the same way. Okay, student name is Adam, give me the age. Okay, the API will, because the APIs are developed by you, the data owner. Okay, so you know that your API knows that where is the actual column. It doesn't matter whether you moved it at 10th place or maybe moved it into some other Excel sheet or some other database. It's your responsibility to link the data with the API. So that's why nowadays in web development, if you come, these APIs are used a lot for every silly thing. You know that when you click on Netflix, when you open a Netflix, whenever you see there are a lot of pop-ups comes up, like maybe the fantasy, maybe animation, each of them is actually APIs. Okay, and it maintain like what movies you have watched, what you should watch, right? That is also a API. Everything in a Netflix page is nothing but an API. So when you see a Netflix page, it's not a one page in simple terms. It a combination of multiple page. Okay, so when you refresh it, there are multiple API call runs behind the scene. It will check, oh, the user is Adam. Okay, I have to fetch Adam's movies, whatever he wanted to watch, or recommended movies and all that. It will fetch specific to Adam, and then it will display. And that's why if you see, Netflix is different for me, different for you, different for everyone, because it keep tracks everyone's users data, like, okay, what kind of movies user have watched, what should I recommend it, and every call in the Netflix is nothing but a API call. So if you go for a web development in simple terms, so it's not actually that's a web development. Okay, so if you go for a web development, you will find APIs a lot. A lot means a lot. Nowadays everything is running on APIs. Okay, so this is a very tiny example how you can access a API. Again, actually it's a kind of 50-50 learning. What 50-50 learning is, you have to learn this request library. So this is a library. Okay, library you have to learn. And obviously what methods are nothing but functions. Okay, what methods and functions are there? So that's a 50% of part. Okay, then there is another 50% what API is offering. The reason is, suppose you cannot use the same code on, suppose, Google API, because might be Google API behave differently. So that you have to see. I'll check, Trian, just give me a sec. Okay, so for every API, so the same, I'll share this link, and I'll request, like, don't go for other API, because those seems more complicated for beginners. Don't go there. Stick with the API on this simple API, weather stack API only. So it's one sec. So we have to click for Python, and there is a complete sample available for Python, like how you have to run the whole code. And that's the good thing about API, right? So you simply pass the API. This is the API URL. They have done little different. They are doing by the params, but here you see the access key and query. So you can like customize it, and you can utilize the same program for any city, whatever city you wanted to use. This is this and this site supports three methods in API. What those are, let's see quickly. So it supports current weather. So this is the current weather, how you have to see the right now, the current temperature. Then there is a historical weather. So this is the way you have to call the historical API. So again, when you run it, please keep everything in one line. Okay, they have like put it into in a different line, but don't do that. Put it into one line, and then try it out. And then they support uh, weather forecast as well, location lookup as well. Okay, so you can check for a location lookup and what response you will get. So this is a request they have given, and here they have given what kind of response you will get. So you will get there are two London available. Okay, one is in UK, as you can see, United Kingdom, and then there is a London in Canada, Ontario. Okay, the longitude and latitude for London, Canada is this, and for UK is this, and time zone difference and all that, right? So they have three APIs, 3 or 4 APIs. Okay, so I'll upload my API Jupyter notebook, and I'll say try it out. Maybe the location lookup. Yeah, location lookup will be fine. Try it out, the location lookup, or maybe some not this one. This is pretty big. uh, this is also not good. Maybe the current weather, we got it. Historical weather. Try it out, these two API to call, okay, in your program. So you have seen it's just pretty quick and easy. Okay, so I think that is all from my side. So problems are still there. Whenever you guys get some time, please go through those problems. Try to solve